probable surface to air batteries and extensive ground reinforcements. Your objective is to engage the enemy, fuck shit up in general, and then land and recover and mobilize cache of whatever raw material they've been extracting. We need to know what the hell they're up to down there and get ahead of it. Good luck, TL. See y'all out.
Mr. Golden, because we're about to talk about hard evidence here. It's really ironic this hearing is covering the left censorship of opposing viewpoints, and you've all seen it on display all day long. They've been doing exactly that. They've been trying to bully and defame our witnesses and try to cover up their opinions. They actually began the hearing with a motion to prevent them from testifying. You can't make this stuff up. It's on broad display for everybody. They did the same thing yesterday in the hearing with the IRS whistleblowers. You know why? Because the Democrats are panicked right now. They're panicked because it's impossible to cover up the inescapable conclusions of the last few weeks. Let me give you two of them. First, one, the hard evidence that you and everybody else now proves that the Biden family is hopelessly corrupt and has apparently engaged in a long pattern of extortion, bribery, influence peddling, and tax fraud, and staggering abuses of power. And number two, we're highlighting here today that we now know that a growing list of the most important executive branch agencies of the Biden administration are in on it. They've also been corrupted. They've been weaponized to help cover all this up. First family's crimes. When we summarize all this stuff, it sounds like a premise of a dystopian novel or something that's actually happening right now on our watch. This is not conspiracy theories, this is evidence. Our hearing today is to put a spotlight on one more of these incredible evidences of unprecedented corruption and government cover-up. And here again, a federal court has just affirmed all that hard evidence. It proves that the White House, the Department of Justice, and the FBI, among other agencies, threatened and coerced the social media platforms to censor and suppress disfavored viewpoints and conservatives' social media posts online. I'm grateful we have with us today two individuals, Mr. Kennedy and Ms. Harris, who were directly impacted by that censorship, and the third, Mr. Sauer, who we're about to speak with, serving as lead counsel in the landmark lawsuit against the federal government on this issue. Let's talk facts. The American people are not aware of the magnitude of this case, Mr. Sauer, and its profound implications, because most of the mainstream media is in on it too, and they're trying to bury the story. In brief, in May of last year, the attorneys general of my state, Louisiana, and the state of Missouri filed suit in U.S. District Court of Louisiana. This blatant censorship, they went after the blatant censorship by the Biden White House in 9 of its federal agencies. 2 weeks ago on Independence Day, the district court issued a truly extraordinary 155-page court opinion, a ruling granting the plaintiff's request for preliminary injunction. Mr. Sauer, your lead counsel in that litigation, you referenced some in your opening statement, but let's do it again here because they don't seem to be paying attention. Can you give a summary again of some of the key components of that opinion and the basis for it? I know you mentioned there were 82 pages of detailed factual findings, right?
That is correct. 82 pages, 577 citations of the record evidence. That evidence is drawn from about 20,000 pages of the government's own communications with social media platforms and 6 full-length depositions of senior federal officials with first-hand knowledge of federal censorship practices.
It's absolutely staggering, and now they've tried to bury this and say, well, the Fifth Circuit entered a temporary administrative stay. They granted an expedited briefing and oral argument, however, for August 10th. What's the impact of that? That's in that routine practice in Fifth Circuit?
That's a direct quote from the recent Fifth Circuit decision and Ray Abbott, which is cited in my written testimony. It's legally incorrect, clearly legally incorrect to describe them as vacating the injunction, which has happened multiple times.
They either don't know the law or, I don't know, they're trying to obscure the facts. That's a theme around here. The White House and the fellow Democrats executed almost none of the factual findings in court. Is that right?
So far, we had 2 emergency state motions from the Department of Justice, one in the district court, one in the Court of Appeals, and what really struck me in reading those is they just don't dispute those 82 pages of factual findings. Almost none of them are directly disputed or being filed so far.
So at the very beginning of this lengthy opinion, the court explains the staggering scope of the government censorship uncovered here at page 2. The court explains, quote, if the allegations made by the plaintiffs are true, the present case arguably involves the most massive attack on free speech in the United States history. The court called it dystopian, Orwellian. How broad has this attack been? How many Americans have been censored?
There's judicial findings, again and again in the opinion of millions of American voices silenced by these efforts.
And it had profound impacts. We know, we just saw the poll and the data that's been entered here, facts, not conjecture, that it probably changed the outcome of the election. The court noted that they suppressed, among other topics, the Hunter Biden laptop story. And the court noted, not you, not me, not Republicans, Millions of Americans were not exposed to that story. Had they been, we know they might have voted differently. We'll never be able to unwind history, but wow, I mean, the profound impacts. What are some of the other categories of speech that the government suppressed with its unconstitutional scheme?
Well, the court made findings on that. I just quote them. Opposition to COVID-19 vaccines, opposition to COVID-19 masking and lockdowns, the lab leak theory of COVID-19, opposition to President Biden's policies, statements that the Hunter Biden laptop story was true, opposition to the policies of government officials in power, all were suppressed. And that's just some examples. Any other examples of that in the court's findings and in the discovery of the case.
So wish I were out of time.
The gentleman yields back. The chair now recognizes Mr. Allred from...
So we're about to talk about hard evidence.
You gonna be fly that airplane?